Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my 2014 NFL Playoff previews, and this video is for the NFC Divisional Round matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers. This game will take place in Carolina, who are in the number 2 seed by way of winning the AFC South, and they'll host the San Francisco 49ers, one of the wild card teams in the NFC, coming off of a win in Lambeau Field 23-20 on Wild Card Weekend. And these two teams have met already earlier in the season in San Francisco, and Carolina went in there in what might have been their biggest win of the season and won 10-9 at San Francisco. Really sort of put Carolina on the map going forward here and stamped them as a legit contender in the NFC, if not the NFL as a whole. And it was a unique game because it featured defense, hard hitting, all right, and just overall tough football. And in this day and age in the NFL, these two teams are truly a joy to watch because they're two of the only teams that are physical and that pride themselves in that smash mouth kind of play. And the Carolina defense in that game, what really stuck out to me and what I think is a key in this game is the way they contained Colin Kaepernick, the way they kept him in the pocket. 6 sacks of Colin Kaepernick in that first game. They were largely able to do that with just rushing their front four. They were largely able to hold down the San Francisco running game to only 100 yards total with that front four. And when you have the luxury to not have to bring a safety up in the box, to not have to crowd the line in order to stop the run, it leaves you in good pass protection schemes, pass coverage schemes in the back end. Let's not forget, though, Carolina has to deal with Michael Crabtree in this game, someone they did not have to deal with in the first meeting. So, they'll have to be very careful if they do decide to bring a safety up, that they're not leaving their corners vulnerable on the outside. When you look at Kaepernick, since he's had Crabtree, Davis, and Bolden in the fold here, he's been a different quarterback, and the 49ers have been a different team. I'm looking forward to see what wrinkles Carolina has to contain him, because we saw and we see consistently when you allow Kaepernick to pick his chances and run and sit back in the pocket and not put pressure on him, he could be a very effective quarterback, if not one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL, along with Cam Newton. Cam Newton, this year sort of his coming out party, something that Carolina did very well in the first meeting against the 49ers, and what really catapulted them to the win on offense was in a game that had limited offense from both teams. Carolina did go 7 for 17 on third down and convert some very crucial third downs in that game. That is going to be a must against this 49ers defense. I think Carolina is going to have tough sledding running the ball. The pass rush of the 49ers is going to be improved. They're at full strength in that department now, which they weren't versus Carolina last time. So how does Cam Newton, how does he get out of the pocket? How does he create plays with his legs, sort of like I talked with Kaepernick? And most importantly, on third downs, is he able to keep the chains moving and prolong drives? I think this would be very crucial, again, because it was something he was able to do in the first game. And really, again, that game I looked at as like, okay, this team is legit, ready to win, and we might see a rematch between these two teams, come the playoffs. And that's exactly how it's unfolded here. And for Newton, if he gets the time to throw now, can he expose that 49ers secondary? We've seen for about the last month or so, especially if Carlos Rogers happens to not play now in this game, is Newton able to expose that secondary? Because we saw Matt Ryan do it. We saw Carson Palmer do it. And although Aaron Rodgers only threw for 177 yards when he needed to in the fourth quarter, he moved the ball pretty well on this defense. All right. Can the 49ers, allow maybe a lot of yards in between the 30s, but stiffen up in the red zone like they did on that last drive versus the Packers? I mean, this is just going to be a fascinating game from all angles. I'm really interested to see two things: how Kaepernick is contained, and on the flip side, can Cam Newton exploit that 49ers secondary if Carolina is not able to run the football? I think when those two things play out, it's going to be very interesting to watch, seeing those wonderful Carolina linebackers, matched up with a guy like a Vernon Davis, and the flip side, Look, Greg Olsen sees a large percentage of Cam Newton's targets. He's not a Vernon Davis where he's going to line up wide and be versatile, but he is a very valuable check down safety valve option that could be important, again, on third downs, particularly in this game. These games are usually won by, I don't want to say freak plays, but plays on special teams. But most importantly, who doesn't turn the ball over. Very, very crucial. And I think ultimately, above everything I said, will be the thing that wins or loses this game. Which guy makes the big turnover and subsequently puts the ball in the other team's hands to make a big play. And I think the NFC is absolutely stacked this year. I think Carolina, San Francisco, along with Seattle, are three of the best four teams in the NFL as a whole. This game is at a pick'em, which I absolutely believe it should be. And I think in the end, all right, I think the 49ers come up with the plays they need to make late. And that although I think Cam Newton will have his chances, will show flashes, all right, especially with Steve Smith presumably back somewhat healthy and playing. I just think in the end, the 49ers make the one or two plays in the end to pull it out. But that's no knock on Carolina. They're a wonderful team. I just think man for man, the 49ers might be a little bit more tested, a little bit more playoff proven, and a little bit more ready to win this game than Carolina. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview every game every week. Always talking the NFL draft. Always talking the news of the day in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.